Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial will be on how to make a pencil dress. It's a fitted pencil dress with trumpet sleeves. So the sleeves is very long. It goes towards the length of the dress and it has a slit from the elbow as you can see here. So, in order to make this dress, we'll need a fabric for the bodice and also another print fabric for the sleeves. In this case, I'm using an African printer fabric. So, the first thing I'm going to do is draft the basic dress pattern. So I've gone ahead and folded two panels, one for the back and one for the front, and I used the biggest measurement of my body, which is the hip. And we will not be adding too much allowance in this dress because this is a stretchy fabric, like I said earlier. So the first thing that you're going to do, just like we normally do, draw a guideline at the beginning of the fabric. So now from there, we're going to measure down the chest line and then the waistline, then from shoulder to your hip line, then from shoulder to the hemline, okay, so measure shoulder to the hemline. So this is a mini dress and it can be a midi, it can be maxi. So you decide the length that you want and you place it there, plus 2 inches for the hem allowance. So after that, you will draw out all your vertical lines, just like I'm doing here. Okay, so after drawing out all the guide your vertical lines, so we're going to go ahead and start placing our horizontal measurements. So the first one that you're going to place is your shoulder measurement divided by 2 inches, and you place it by on the guideline, and then from there you mark it down to the chest line. Okay, so from the end of the shoulder, come down by 1 inch, and then by the neck, the fold line, the center fold, measure the weight of the neckline you want. So I am going to be using about 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So that will be for the front, and then for the back, I will use the same 2.5 inches for the width and 1.5 for the depth. So I'm cutting both the front and the back together. Okay. So after that, you use your French curve and connect all the lines. First, you connect the shoulder slope. Then you will use your French curve and connect the neck curve like that. All right, next thing that we're going to do is get the midpoint of the armhole line. And then from there, you come in by 1/2 inch. Then on your chest line, you're going to place your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1/2 inch ease. So that's all we need for this measurement. We're not adding extra seam allowance because the fabric is very stretchy. All right. So after you place that measurement, you're going to use your French curve and create the armhole. So this armhole represents the front armhole. That's why we came in by half an inch at the midpoint, because the front armhole is deeper than the back armhole. All right, so you create your curve like that. Then on the outside, you just measure the regular, you just curve the regular armhole, and this will be the one for the back. Then we continue with the rest of our measurements. On the waistline, you divide your waist by 4 and add half inch ease. Then on your hip line, you do the same. Divide your hip measurement by 4 and add a half inch for ease. Then we're going to connect the lines. You connect your bust measurement to the waist, and then you use your hip curve and connect your waist to the hip like this. Okay. So now on the hemline, whatever measurement you have for your hip measurement, you will be subtracting 1.5 from that and place it on the hemline. So this will be to create the pencil effect for the dress. All right, so that's what I just did here. Then you use your yardstick and connect the rest of the um, line down. And basically all your measurements are done. So we're not using any zipper for this dress. The dress is a stretchy fabric, so no need to add a zipper. All right. So now we're ready to cut out our dress. We're going to be cutting out the back the back piece first. So you follow the neckline for the back and then the armhole for the back and cut that out. Okay, so after you cut it out, you're just going to separate them, and then you go ahead and trim off the neckline for the front like this, and also trim off the armhole for the front just like this. Okay, so now the dress is ready. So you just mark which one is your front and which one is your back. So you're going to place the dress together and you'll be joining on the shoulder. You join the shoulder and then the side seams. Okay, like I said, we don't need a zipper for the back. The dress is a stretchy fabric. No need for zipper. All right, so you're just going to pin down and then you're going to sew them down. Okay, now to make the sleeve is going to be a trumpet sleeve that flares out from the elbow. So first thing you're going to do is mark your guideline From that guideline, you get the length of your sleeve. I am working with 30 inches plus 2 inches as seam allowance, making the total of 32 inches for the sleeve. So go ahead and draw out that line. So now from the guideline, measure down your cap height. So mine is 5 inches. So I place that measurement there. And then from there, I get my elbow line from the cap, from the head of the sleeve, you get your elbow line. So my elbow line is at 13.5 inches. So whatever your measurement is, that's what you're going to place on the elbow line. And then you label all your points. All right. So now on the cap height, you will place your round armhole. So whatever your measurement is, place it on the cap height, and then you will draw a line from there to the tip of the pattern paper like this. So after you've drawn that line, you will remeasure what you have and you fold your tape into two so that we can get the midpoint. Then you place that mark there. Then you will further divide that line into two. So you're going to get the midpoint of this side and also the midpoint of the other side. So basically you divided this line into three. All right, so now on the first point, you will go up by 0.8 inches. On the second one, you go up by 0.3 inches. Then on the last one, you come down by 0.5 inches. So this, what we just did here is for the front armhole side. Because remember, when we were drafting the basic dress on the armhole, we took out, we went in by 0.5 inches. So that's exactly what we did here for the sleeve so that it can fit. So you're just going to go ahead, use your French curve and connect all the points. Okay, so this represents the front armhole. Okay, so for the back one, you don't need to do anything. You just follow those lines and then go out and curve it like that. All right, and then that's what you have. So now the next thing is going to be you take your round elbow measurement and then on the elbow line you divide that into two and place that measurement there. Okay, so now whatever you have, whatever measurement you got for the round elbow measurement, you're going to add 5 inches to that measurement and place it on the hemline. So for me, my round elbow measurement is 12 divided by 2, and that's 6 inches. And that's what I place on the elbow line. And then I add 5 inches to that and making it 11. That's what I placed on the hemline. So we're now going to connect all the lines like that. And then you're going to use your yardstick and place for the hemline to the elbow line. As you can see, this is how we flared out. So if you want it to flare out more, you can add more inches to your elbow, your round elbow measurement. Depends on how much flare you want. Okay, so now after that, you come down on the hemline, you go up by 1 inch. Then you're going to use your hip curve and create a slight curve like this so that you won't have a sharp edge when you cut out the sleeve. All right. So this is the one side of the sleeve. When you cut it on your fabric, you'll be cutting on the center fold. You're going to be folding your fabric and then you place the sleeve on it to cut like this. So I placed my fabric on fold. Then you place the sleeve on top, and we're going to be cutting out two. All right. Okay, so you go ahead and cut out your sleeve. All right, after you've cut one, you fold your fabric again into two and place the pattern on the folded edge again and cut out the next piece. Okay, so these are the sleeves after you've cut it out. All right, so now you're going to be sewing from your armhole down to your elbow where I made the mark. I'm just going to go ahead and place a notch there, so that's where I will stop sewing. Then you will now have the slit open at the flare, and then you will hem all around. All right. Okay, so I have gone ahead and um, stitch the side seams and also the shoulders. So now I'll show you how to place a collar for the um, dress. As you notice on the sample dress, it has a collar. All right. So what you're going to do is measure round from one shoulder all the way to the back like this. You keep measuring all around until you get the complete measurement. So now you will use that measurement to cut out the collar for the dress. And remember, we don't have any it doesn't this dress doesn't have a zipper. So the way you do it is once you cut this out, you fold it like that, and then you will stitch right there. Then you'll turn it over, and I will show you how to cut out the collar so that you can lay nicely. So you can get this, assuming this is your fabric, you're going to place it on a bias like this. Place the fabric on a bias, and then you will take the measurements you got when you measure around your neckline. So the whatever measurements you got when you measure around your neckline, right? So that's the measurements that you place right here. So you place that measurement there. I'm just going to square this out. Okay, so you're going to square this out, and now you determine how many the width that you want. You can use 2 inches on fold, and that's 4. But I'm using 3 inches, so my fabric is on fold, so that's 1.5 inches. So that's the measurement I'm marking down. So you mark that as your weight, the weight of your collar, like this. Then you use your ruler and connect the lines together. Connect the lines all the way down to the length of the collar. So now you're going to cut it out. So it's advisable to always cut your collar on a bias form, so that way when you place it on your fabric, it will lay nicely. All right. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and when you fold it, you stitch the end and then flip it over, just like that I showed you earlier. So I'm gonna stitch it and turn it over, and then you get the dress. So you place your dress like this, and then the place you stitched it will be going to the back. So that was going to go to the back neckline. So you're going to start pinning it like this. First you pin the one for the back, and then you get the one for the front, making sure you have a centered um, collar, and then you pin to the sides, and then you pin the rest and then sew it all around. All right. So after I've sewn it, and this is what it looks like. So now we're ready to attach our sleeves. As you can see, I already sewed from my armhole down to the elbow line, and then I also went ahead and um hemmed the slit and also the hemline. So this is how your sleeve is. Now I'm going to turn it back inside out. So you have the right side of your sleeve out, and then you place it under like this, so that you'll be matching the seam, the side seam. So the side seam of the dress, you match it with the side seam of the sleeve like this. Then you pin all around and sew together. So you go ahead and pin everything all around until you get to the head of this the sleeve. Making sure that you place the sleeve side of the front together. So now this is how the dress looks after it's been attached. As you can see, it's very long sleeve. So this is not a mannequin. So when my client wears it, it will come out right. So if this tutorial has been helpful, please give a thumbs up, comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you on my next video. Bye bye.